Hey guys, today I want to go ahead and replace my stock insert plate with a zero clearance insert plate made out of Baltic birch plywood. As you can see, my insert plate is a little bit different than the typical ones you see, as there's not really room for a riving knife or anything behind, as the stock one kind of came up behind, but this saw didn't come with it, so that's why I don't have it. But more than that, this is held down with 2 screws, and all the other ones I've seen online kind of like hook in the back or just rest on top or have a latch mechanism like the saw stop or something like that. But mine simply doesn't have it. So let's go ahead, open this up, and see what we can do to make our zero clearance insert. So what we've got here is 2 little rubber grommets. And on the back side here, I've kind of put down some layers of electrical tape, and this was to get it more flush with the tabletop. For some reason, it wasn't really built to the right thickness. I had a lot of rocking in it, and the electrical tape really helped, but obviously we're not going to need that anymore. So, and I want to get away from using these as well. I'm going to reuse these screws as a hold down. I don't want it floating in here. I want it screwed down. So we're going to go ahead and reuse those. And you see, we're going to have to create a lip, a little rabbet around the whole thing, and then make room for it right here. And that looks like pretty much the only obstacles in our way. So let's go ahead and mill up a piece of 3/4 inch Baltic birch plywood. So I've got a couple pieces milled up, so the next thing I'm going to do is stick it into my linear actuator vise and then lay the stock insert plate on top, make sure the ends have a little bit of overhang, and I'm going to close it up. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead, make sure it's not moving anywhere, and I'm going to use a self-centering bit and drill out both these holes. Okay, do this side. So now what I'm going to do is screw this down using some pan head screws. I don't want to use countersink screws. In case I need a little bit of adjustment, I want to leave that in there. So these are going to hold them down firmly in place so they don't move on us. Okay, so now what we have here is a router template. First I'm going to head to the bandsaw and chop off these big corners, and then I'm going to set up a follower bit in my router table, and we're going to carve out the exact shape because there is a little bit of room on the sides and following the edges as well. So I've now got my rabbeting bit set up in the router table, and you see I'm not using the follower bearing up here. I'm actually going to be using the fence as a reference. This is simply because this would create way too large of a shoulder. I think it's 3/8 or 1/2 inch from the edge of this blade to the bearing, and I only need just under 1/4 inch. So I'm going to go ahead, use the fence, do all my passes, and then I'm going to raise it up to its final depth, and we'll try to dial that in. We're back over at the table saw. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this blade off. Okay, let's see how she fits. Okay, lots of room. but obviously we're bottoming out on this. So this is what I'm thinking, that I'm gonna put a little piece of tape on here, and a little piece of tape over here, and I'm gonna put some glue move the fence over. We're going to mark this against the glue. Oh, that is a perfect outline. I'll show you guys. Okay, glue line is right here. Right here. I'll just go ahead and wipe that away. Now we know where we need to remove some material. So now that this is marked out, I can go ahead and pull up this tape, throw that in the garbage. We're gonna go ahead and get our distance for the router table and bring that and dial that in. We'll go set that up. Okay, so we're back over at the table saw. Let's go ahead and give her a try now that we've got these notches out right here. See how it fits. That is a remarkably good fit on the first try. Swear to God, didn't even edit this. This is actually the first try, and that seems basically perfect. So, unfortunately, I don't really know how to get this out. There's nothing I can grab, so we're gonna head over to the drill press, open up these holes so they'll allow these screws to go through, countersink them, as these are countersink bolts, and maybe I'll drill a big thumb hole or something over here so I can actually pull this out. In the meantime, so the holes are now big enough and have a countersink to accept the bolts, and we've got a finger hole. Let's go ahead and give her a shot. It's a really snug fit. There's not even any sideways or vertical play. I guess forward back play, that is. So let's take this out, and I want to go ahead and cut the slot for the blade, but that's a 10-inch blade and it comes up to about here. So with the thickness of this, it's going to interfere. So I've got to go ahead and install this dado blade, which I believe is 8 inches. I'll just get this on real quick. Then we'll get this back, screw it down, and I'll turn the dust collection on and I'll slowly raise the blade. That was uneventful, perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and take this cover off and swap the original blade back in. We'll go all the way up with the blade to fully cut it in, and then I'll run some test pieces and see how it works. Well guys, it's just one test cut, but it is basically perfect on both edges. And with that, this project is complete. Thanks for watching.